All right, welcome back to the Coach Mac Show. Coach, big week last week with Irwin County coming to town. Everybody around here was wondering how the kids would respond after last week against Turner, previous week against Turner. They responded big time.
They really did. Really proud of the way the kids and the coaches, responded to after what happened a week before. And I guess I don't want to sound like I say I knew it or whatever, but it doesn't really surprise me that our kids responded well. And we had a pretty good week of practice. We really emphasized on things that we can control, and that what we controlled was simply getting better and taking a look at some other things on offense, defense, special teams, just getting some people in different positions. And we had a good week. And then, of course, with kids, you never know. We've had bad weeks and have won state championships the very next week, and we've had great weeks and have lost like we did against Turner. So you never know how the kids are going to respond, but I'm really proud of the way they've responded. I'm proud of the way the coaches responded. There were some changes we made. There were some subtle changes we made to players on the field, and you might have saw us do a few other things. One big change I made was I fired the coach that did the play calling, and that was me. Yeah. I went ahead and had Barrett Wilkes, my quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. I told him to call you call the offense. It's really for the most part the same offense, but you go ahead and call the offense and let me more coach the game. Let me coach all the different things, and let me do different things during the game, and let me get my head up so I could see what's going on. Before, what I noticed against Turner was I was involved so much in the play calling and what was coming up next and what we had to do and I was spending a lot of time involved in gathering information for play calling that I didn't have enough time really to see what was going on as far as the game was going on. So I felt like it was a move that I wanted to try, I wanted to make, and I think it worked out good this week, and we're going to, of course, stick with it. Coach Wilkes, a young coach, he's an offensive guy. He was brought up in basically this type of system that we're in, so he brought something to it, and also it gave me a chance to, again, look at the field and see what's going on, give him information, help give Coach Woods on defense information, and then Coach Thomas Brooks some information on special teams to help me be involved in all phases of the game. During the course of the week and also during the game, and I think it helped. I think Coach Wilkes did a great job. But again, I think that I like the way the kids responded. I like the way the coaches responded, and I think it was maybe a perfect situation to where I know that Irwin County is a great team, and Irwin County is probably a better team than us. We play them 10 times. They may beat us 9 of the 10, really. But I think it was one of those situations to where we're coming off such a bad performance, a bad outing against Turner and the Irwin County kids. And I know Coach Buddy Noble was working against this, but I'll tell you what, kids are kind of, it's strange when you work with kids and they get their mind set on something or they feel like they know something, and it's harder now than maybe it used to be. And I think Coach Noble probably experienced that this week. I'm sure Coach Noble was telling them, listen, Charlton County still has some good players. We're going over there, and sometimes it can be tough to play over there, all that stuff. I know he was telling them all the right things, trying to do all the right things, but when it comes to kids, sometimes you can't convince them otherwise at times. And maybe Irwin County ran into something like that to where they came in and expecting it to be maybe easier than it was, and our kids really played well. Really pleased with the job our kids did. On offense, Jimmy Nettles is feeling better with his hand. He's able to throw the ball better. He really brings a calm demeanor to the offense, and Jimmy really was able to spread the ball around. We threw for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the receiving department, we had Raykwon Anderson had 7 catches for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Bell had 2 huge catches for 42 yards, and A.J. had a touchdown, which was a gigantic play. Jimmy really made a great throw, but I think that A.J. made a tremendous adjustment on the ball, caught the ball in traffic, had 2 guys hit him at the same time, was able to keep his balance and take it on in for a touchdown. That was a great job by AJ. And then Ethan Sauls had 2 catches for 39 yards. And then Bryant Sloan, you might have noticed something. We used Bryant Sloan at tight end. We haven't done that much this year. We've done it in practice, haven't done it in the game. And then Bryant also, he had a big catch for 12 yards, which gave us a first down. Offensively, again, we ran for 152 yards and a touchdown. We threw for 171 yards, so quite a bit balanced there. We were able to do the things we wanted to do. Threw the ball 16 times, ran the ball 26 times, which is pretty much normal for us. When things are going good, that's normal for us. So offensively, really pleased with that. I thought our offensive line did some good things. I thought Caleb Hodges might have had his better game at offensive guard he has had. So number 50 senior Caleb Hodges, I thought did a good job there. But again, offensively, I thought we did a nice job. I thought Barrett Wilkes did a nice job calling the game. So really pleased with that. As far as the defense, the turnovers, they had 3 turnovers. We got all 3 of the fumble recoveries. It was really huge. We had a fumble recoveries by number 21, Omar Lewis, had a fumble recovery by number 15, Brad Milton, and a fumble recovery by Andrew Lee. And Andrew Lee played, Andrew not only had 10 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown, especially the one that capped it at the end, but Andrew also went in and played some defense for us, and I thought he did a good job there in recovering the fumble. Defensively, a couple of our players of the game come off the defensive side of the ball, and that was Brad Milton. Had a great game. Brad had 6 tackles, was all over the place, making big key plays, and also 65. It's not a joke by no means, but what it is, it's any time that we play and any time we do well on defense, I'm telling you, it's because of 65. Our nose guard, Toby Dasher, and Toby's one of our defensive players of the week. Also, number 22, our inside linebacker, Bryant Sloan, had 11 and a half tackles, had a great game, and inside linebacker did a great job against their outstanding player, number 32, Pollard. But really, really pleased with the job they did. Also, 6.5 tackles. We have 6.5 tackles was Tion Burrows did a great job. So the defensive guys had some big stops. We made Irwin punt the ball 3 times, which is really crucial for us to do. Plus, then also we had 3 drives stopped on turnovers. So, and then they had also a couple drives stopped on downs. So we're really pleased, and only giving up 14 points to an incredibly well-coached, well-disciplined team like Irwin County is a great job for our offense. So again, Irwin County, big win for us, big game, big region game for us. Really glad to be on track, and a great job by all those guys. Now on special teams, I want to mention special teams. Bryant Sloan had a really good night of punting. He had 5 punts that totaled 197 yards, and that's some hidden yardage that you really don't count for, but that's a great job there. And he had 1 pooch punt, which was going to be a short punt anyway. We wanted to pin him deep, and we did, but he had a 39.4 average punting the football, which is tremendous. Tremendous anyway, but it's also tremendous when you factor in that short punt that we purposely, that was short. Right. And also, we talked about one of our players of the game, Brad Milton. Brad Milton sprinted down the field one time, pinned Irwin County down on the 1-yard line on one of those punts. So very good job by the offense, defense, and special teams. Really, really pleased with the job they did right there.
All right, Coach. I thought coming into the game, when I was doing our pregame show with the Red Kids, and I always love that with the Red Kids out here. When I was doing the pregame, I was setting up that the Charlton Irwin game is always, the last 3 or 4 years, just been right there, right to the end. And I thought the cheerleader banner going into the 4th quarter turned out to be a little prophetic. What they're saying at the bottom. It's not over until the clock says 0, 0, 0.
That's right.
They about called it.
They really did. games like us and Clinch, and now us and Turner and us and Wilcox and Irwin County has always been hard-fought games. Even though our games against Irwin, Irwin has blown us out really the last few times. A couple times it seems like we played them. But even in a blowout game against Irwin, it's still a hard-fought physical football game. And I tell you, they've got that program going over there. The community support and the administrative support that they give that program in Irwin County is tremendous. And talking to Coach Noble and Coach Lindsay, who was there before Coach Noble, the support that they have gotten from the community and from their Board of Education is really tremendous, and that's why you see Irwin County is now one of your top football teams in the state. And I still believe at the end of the day, Irwin County is going to be heard of. I still think that Irwin County is a team that's good enough to win the state championship. And I know they're going to regroup, and I think whoever has Irwin next, I feel for them, because Irwin County is a good football team. And I tell you, they're going to win a bunch of games from this point on, and they may be the team at the end again. They're that good. They really are.
It's always a good, entertaining game between those two schools. We want to come out on top every time, but you can count on that. It's almost like, I almost hate to compare it, but it's almost like Florida, Georgia. The last few years, I mean, it's been that close, and seems like there's always something on the line.
There, really is. It's any time that I think when us and Clinch or us and Irwin get together, and now us and Telfair get together, it's going to decide playoff spots. It's going to help decide the region title. It's going to help decide who's going to be in the playoffs, who's going to be in the playoffs, and what position. So it's that's what was been riding on these type games with Irwin County. And again, it was a great night. Coach Noble told me afterwards, he says, Charlton County has a great atmosphere, with the crowd and with everything going on. And, of course, we have the best band you're going to find anywhere. And all that going on, he says, when you come to Charlton County, it's going to be a great atmosphere and it's going to be a good football game. So it was, and I was really proud of our kids, proud of our fans. Those of them that got up and really supported the kids. I don't look in the stands or anything, but one time I glanced up and you'll see a big section of people up really encouraging our players to do well when we're on defense at the end of the game. But unfortunately, you got a big section over here that just sit there and watch the game. But I really, and that's fine, I understand that, but I really appreciate those folks that after the game was over, our players were spent, they're exhausted. And also those fans, those parents and up in the stands who were just spent and exhausted because they're really pushing on our kids to do well. And it was a great atmosphere and a great night. And it's one of those things that I've been in it long enough, and I know how the other side feels also. Yeah. I mean, I've lost games every different way you can think of. We've lost state championship games. We've lost close state championship games and big playoff games. And it's a tough feeling, and I really felt for Coach Noble in Irwin County, because it was one of those kind of football games where no team, you hate to see anybody lose or anybody feel bad about the way the game was played, because both teams played extremely hard. Of course, the team that's going to make the most mistakes usually runs the chance of not winning, and I think the mistakes were probably made more on the Irwin County side, the 3 turnovers, the 3 fumbles, and not converting on 4th down. That was things that worked in our way. But again, really proud of the way our kids played, proud of the way our fans really encouraged them to play well, especially at the end. And it was a great night for Charlton County.
Coach, I know big game like Irwin coming to town, a lot of pregame stuff going on with the younger kids out here this week. With the pregame, I mean, you had the rec football and the cheerleaders, then you had the band, the younger band members with the little twirlers and everything out there. With a big game like that, do you get a chance to kind of soak all that in with the younger guys when you are doing the walkthrough and everything?
Yeah, I mean, on game night, game night, once you get to game night, there's a term that we use and other people use, the haze in the barn type thing. We're not going to do a lot of changing once the game starts. We may change, but leading up to the game, you're just getting through pregame. You're making sure everybody's focused. You're making sure that everything's done, ready to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not too bad before the game, and yeah, I do rec night. Rec night is really always a great night for us. It's an opportunity to see the future, because I can remember seeing a lot of these kids whose lockers are in here now. I can remember seeing them when they were little guys walking through with their rec jerseys on, and having those rec coaches say, "Coach, get ready for this guy. He's going to be a good one." And they're always right. And the rec coaches, I really appreciate the job they do. And my daughters, they did the rec cheerleading and all that kind of stuff. And so recreation sports, regardless of what it is, basketball, baseball, football, I really appreciate that it's usually the parents who step up to the plate and do the organizing of it, and getting the jerseys and all the sponsors and that sort of stuff. I really appreciate the job they do. And I know tonight out here behind the field house, up in the stadium here, they're going to have rec football again tonight. And last week we had rec games, and I know those little guys all day long. I just imagine how they anticipate the night, knowing they're getting ready to play sports, and whatever sport it is. I know they're looking forward to it. So again, appreciate the coaches, appreciate the parents who take the time to get their kids involved in recreation and so forth. And it makes a difference. It really makes a difference, I believe, in the lives of these kids being involved in team sports.
All right, Coach. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have our senior spotlight. We've already pretty much talked about the atmosphere. I'll move some things up since we're going to go ahead and talk about Wilcox tonight. And we'll be right back with the second half of the Coach Mack Show. All right, welcome back to the second half of the Coach Mack Show. Coach, our senior spotlight this week is number 50, Caleb Hodges.
Caleb Hodges is offensive lineman. He's a starting right offensive guard. We mentioned in the first segment that he was a guy that we noticed on film. You don't notice it during a game, those offensive linemen, but we noticed it on film how he had a really good game. So Caleb is a guy that's been in the program from the early ages and came up through it, and he's somebody that we're lucky to have, and lucky that he stepped up into a starting role this year on the offensive line, because we talked about in the offseason, we talked about at the end of last year about how we were going to graduate really all of our offensive linemen, minus Andrew Chesser. So we needed some guys to step up, and Caleb is one of those guys that has stepped up and done a great job. Caleb is also a guy around school that he's a good student, involved in a lot of things and so forth. One of those kind of guys that you don't have to worry about discipline, you don't have to worry about attitude, a high character kid. Just like I tell these guys, I said, you get that probably from your parents, so congratulations to them for raising such a good kid. But again, Caleb Hodges, our senior spotlight player of the week, outstanding game against Irwin County, and hopefully he can build on that and finish up this year and have a great senior year.
All right, Caleb Hodges, you're our senior spotlight this week. Congratulations. And outside linebacker?
No, offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. All right. All right. Let's move on to, so I've got to rearrange my order here, Coach. We talked about the rec night with the home crowd and everything. The Braves and the B team this week.
Braves, I know they finish up tomorrow, finish up their season. I'm trying to think where it's at. I don't have a roster in front of me.
I believe they're on the road.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they finish up on the road. I think their last home game was last week. But they finish up their season this week, and they've had a nice year. I think they've only had one loss on the year, and which they're a group that lost a lot of kids. I won't say to graduation, but to promotion to the 9th grade. So just about, you look at their starting lineup last year, it seemed like they lost just about everybody just about. So they definitely had to reorganize and rebuild that down there. And they've done a great job. Coach Jack Thomas and his staff, you know, he's got Marty Strickland down there as offensive coordinator. He does a great job. Chris Kraft does the defensive side of the ball. And then Larry Carter does the offensive and defensive linemen. Those guys have done a great job with that junior high. Very easily, you could have thought our junior high may have had just an awful season, being that just about everybody on the starting lineup moved up to the 9th grade. But again, a season where they've only lost one game so far. They beat the Camden schools and the people down in Callahan, Florida, and all that. So they've done a great job. And their numbers aren't real high, but there's some quality down there. Some kids, I'm looking forward to them coming up, joining us next year. So they've done a really good job down there. B team, last week I think we struggled again. B team is struggling for some reason, but again, you look at the number of 9th graders we have playing varsity and starting varsity. Actually, if everything was held true and our starting lineup consisted of mostly juniors and seniors, you'd see a lot of these sophomores and freshmen playing on the B team level. But we need them playing on the varsity level. So the B team is really. The B team is really consists of guys that may be these other guys' backups. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is the B team is struggling, and if we had all the freshmen and sophomores on the B team like a lot of people were able to do, they might be doing better. But again, we travel this week to Bacon County, Alma, Georgia. We don't have a varsity game on Friday, so hopefully the parents and maybe some people can ride over to Alma and support those guys and see if we can't get those guys playing a little bit better on the B team level. But again, B team again this week in Alma, junior high on the road. They finish up, so hopefully maybe some folks can get out on the road and watch one or two of these games.
All right, Coach. Moving on to we got the B team Thursday.
B team Thursday. B team will be in Alma, Georgia.
Thank you. Keeping me straight here. Coach, moving on to Wilcox now. I saw something that you shared the other day that I thought was pretty interesting with a Wilcox and a Charlton graduate playing head-to-head this weekend in college ball.
That's right. Wilcox, their longtime head football coach, Mark Ledford, who I think does a great job, is really a good coach. Sometimes this situation can be tough over there, but again, I think that he is a tremendous football coach. He's won a state championship, so he proved he can do that, and he can develop talent, which he's proven that. You've got Nick Marshall, who's a kick punt returner down to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's from there. There's, I think, a starting defensive back with the New England Patriots and so forth. But he has produced NFL talent and Division I college talent. This weekend, Bug Howard, who's one of his former players, plays wide receiver for North Carolina, lined up across from Chris Milton, who was one of our players from Charlton County in the Georgia Tech North Carolina game. Also in that game, there was another Region 2A guy, number 44, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name. Number 44 for North Carolina. He was a linebacker, recovered a fumble in that game, but he's from Lanier County. So we have representation from our region in Division I college football. There was 3 of them playing in one game this week. But again, Nick, I can remember us playing against Nick Marshall and here on our field and over there. And then Nick Marshall goes on to star at University of Auburn. Auburn University winning big games over there. Now he's with the Jaguars. And again, Wilcox County will produce great talent. They will have NFL talent, college talent, and right now they still have talent. Coach Mark Ledford, I talk to him most every week. He's a fantastic guy, and I think I consider him to be a good friend. And I know that he's had some tough situations over there. They've had to overcome with different things, but I tell you what, when you watch them play, they play hard. the scheme they use is very good. It's a smart scheme that they're using, so you know that there's coaching. The coaching is there. They've just had some misfortune this year, but they are talented enough to beat us. There's no question about it. They have speed, they have size, they have all the things it takes to be successful over there, and that's what concerns us already. It's open week. It's Monday of open week. We just finished in the meeting room with the players looking at Irwin County. We had a brief staff meeting to make sure we're all lined up as far as what we're doing as far as getting ready for Wilcox. We'll start on Wilcox tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll go Wilcox all this week, and then again we'll go Wilcox all next week, because I do know that Coach Lefford's going to have those guys ready to play. We're going over there to their place, tough place to play now. We've been over there a couple times, and we've been beat over there. Again, that place reminds me a little bit of Turner County for some reason. We go in there, and we don't play our best all the time, and I think that, of course, we bring the best out of our opponents sometimes, and I know we're going to get the best out of Wilcox, and we got to get ready. They've got talent, they've got speed, they got size, and we got to get ready for them. It's like a typical Region 2A game. Everybody has talent, everybody has speed, everybody has the size, so we've got to be ready for that, and we're going to hopefully be ready. We've got a couple kids that need to heal up this week. Toby Dasher had a sprained ankle, but only really missed a few plays and was back in the football game. He's going to be just fine. We have Eric Daniels has a thigh bruise, but I think he's going to be fine. So we've got a couple guys that are going to get a little bit of rest this week, but for everybody else, we're going to put some work in this week on open week. Today was just weight room. Had a good weightlifting session today for 90 minutes. Got a lot out of them in the weight room today. Then today we watched film. We made some adjustments on film. That went well. Then we gave them the rest of the evening off. And tomorrow we're going to come in and have a great weight room session again. We're going to really get after it in the weight room this week. Today, Monday, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. All 4 of these days, we're going to have great days in the weight room. As far as practice, we're going to go full pads on Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to work on some fundamental stuff. We're going to work on some tackling. We're going to and start installing the game plan for Wilcox, and even start expanding even more on our offense, doing some other things. And again, special teams has to be addressed. We're going to address some special team things. But I thought special teams, we might have looked our best as a team this last Friday against Irwin than we've looked all year long. So we're going to actually try to build on that success on special teams. Thursday, we're going to load all the kids up, and just the B team, load the B team kids up and take them to Bacon County, to Alma, to play B team game. Now the varsity guys, we're going to really get after them in the weight room on Thursday. We're going to get after them. They're going to have a tough workout in the weight room, and then Thursday after school with the varsity guys, we're going to cut them loose. Let them have a good evening, hopefully, and the B team guys will load them up to, like I said, go to Alma. Friday we have no school, so the kids will have Friday off. They're going to be able to sleep in like it's summer and that sort of thing, and I'm sure they'll enjoy that. And so they're going to have Friday off. Now Saturday we got the Okefenokee Festival parade, right? And so Saturday at 9 o'clock, I got the players coming meet me uptown to get their jersey on and be able to get in the parade and ride in the parade, and hopefully all that, and hopefully we can get a ride. We don't have to walk it, but they'll be in the parade and get candy thrown at them and throw candy out probably. But anyway, we'll do that, and then the rest of Saturday have off. Sunday they'll have off, of course, and then Monday it's right back to work. It's all about Wilcox County Patriot. It's all about Patriot football and getting ready for those guys and trying to get another Region 2A win. We know it'll be tough. They're a good football team. We've got to be ready.
I know we're carrying speaking of having this Friday off, we're carrying the Okefenokee Festival Parade live. The first time that's ever been done to my knowledge. The chamber gave us permission to carry that, so we're excited and nervous at the same time. I've never done a parade before, so this is going to be interesting on our part. On the Wilcox thing, one thing that I noticed on their record, you can't judge them by their record this year. I don't think. It seems like they have more athletes than their record really showing.
Well, like I said, they've had a tough go of it, which happens. I mean, you know, whether it's injuries or whatever the case may be, they've had a tough go at it. I think, and I don't get this from Coach Ledford. Coach Ledford's he's positive, energetic guy, but I tell you, you know, I think that maybe things just ain't going as good, and that happens. It happens to us all the time. It happened last week where things didn't go good at all. But I really think that they're making strides, and looking at their film, all I see on the film is I see good coaching going on. First of all, I see good coaching going on. I see a good scheme. It's offensively, defensively, special teams. I see good players. I just see them having some bad luck. You know, and I think that sometimes things just don't go your way. And I think that's what's happened to Wilcox County right now, is things just haven't went their way. But again, that can change in a hurry, as we both know by seeing what happened here this week. A week ago, we were in the, you know, as low as you can be. You know, our players were down, our coaches were down, everybody was down about Charlton County football. And then all of a sudden, 48 minutes of football later, everybody's up, everybody's sky high. Now everybody's talking about, you know, all of our goals are still in front of us, that we can still achieve everything we wanted to achieve this year just because of one game. So, again, that can happen for Wilcox also. That can very well happen to them, and I explained that to our football team. You watch college football. You saw what happened this week. You saw, you know, Georgia sky high. Now they're down the dumps. You know, Florida was, you know, are we any good? Now all of a sudden we're great. You know, you got Ole Miss. All of a sudden Ole Miss is thinking, hey, we're ranked in the top 3 in this nation, and all of a sudden now we get blown out. So this is a crazy game, and it seems like these are crazy times in college football and high school football, to where you can be sky high one week, you can be down at the bottom the next, then you can get yourself right back up the next week. And I realize that's what Wilcox is thinking. Wilcox is thinking, all we need is a great game. Yeah. We get one great game, we're back where we want to be. And I realize that Wilcox County, with their athleticism and with their coaching they have, and Coach Ledford, that they can be right back at the top that quick. And if we don't have a great week and we don't go over there focused a lot better than we did against Turner, we'll get beat the same way we got beat against Turner. And so it's the emphasis this week is to get better. The emphasis this next week is to get sharp and get really focused on Wilcox County.
Coach, it's Friday night. Have you got another football game planned you're going to go check out while you fill that void?
Well, you know, we got some close friends that are coaches down at Hilliard, Zach Wittenberg, Gabe Wittenberg, and those guys. And we have some kids we have a couple guys that were in our program a year ago down there. Might go down and watch Hilliard possibly next week. But again, you know, anymore, if I get a chance to relax and be home, you know, and I tend to take it. So like tonight, we're able to get this done early. I'm excited about going home, having dinner, and watching a little TV, and maybe watch a little football tonight. So it's hard telling what I'll exactly do next Friday. I'll have to wait and see when it comes. But you know, either I might go watch Hilliard play right down the road, or I may just take it easy and relax and get rested up for the next week. So it's hard to tell what I'm going to do.
I know AJ was hitting me up last night. What are we going to go see Friday night? I said, well, we'll go to Hilliard. We'll go watch him play. So.
Yep, good game.
But anyhow,
good game in Hilliard. And I know Valdosta's at home, I think, against possibly Lowndes County, I think. So there's some good games in the area. It's going to give an opportunity for the fans around here to go out and watch some other people.
All right, Coach. I appreciate it as usual. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
We will see y'all 2 Fridays. Not this Friday, Friday week, up in Rochelle, Georgia. So y'all plan on making the trip. We need to make that place look like Charlton County. And thanks for watching.